Nvidia earnings report, guys. It is about to release. We're going to be seeing if the Nvidia earnings report ends up wiping out all of these gains from the market. We're right now watching in real time, of course, AIOZ and Render and Tau and a lot of these AI tokens get a huge head start on markets, just kind of being the top gainers for today. We are going to see this release here in about the next 20 or so minutes. And so today's live stream will be breaking down exactly what we need to wait for, because taking profits is key right now. If we're not paying attention to the market and its conditions right now, we have some major bear signals that could tell us these earnings reports will be negative. So we'll be breaking that all live with you guys right now, watching for what's about to happen, of course, to AI in crypto as a whole, as we anticipate also the Ethereum ETF. And we have political speeches going out. We have bullish politicians. We have bullish TA, bullish technical analysis coming out of here today. So, man, strap in for a live stream, guys. Smash that like button and get excited, because this is going to be an intense, volatile next few moments here with me. Now, I do need to double check here. There we go. We went ahead and posted it for everybody. Let me make sure it's still live. We're good to go. There we go. Perfect. So let's hit this up. Right now on the markets, guys, we're looking at a Bitcoin of 69,600, seeing a little bit of a retracement. We have Ethereum at $3,735, XRP 52 cents, Link at $16.33. And of course, guys, I'm looking at my watch list. So we have to go to the main sector here with Dogecoin up 0.14%, 16 cents, Toncoin up just a little bit. We are getting a little bit healthy of a correction here in pullback. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this, Fetch, Graph, you have Render, Near, Ajax. A lot of your AI tokens are the ones that are starting to rip. So I don't know if we need to see just W's in the chat to get hyped up for this earnings report, but we are moments away from this. So let's pull up, of course, none other than Yahoo Finance. They have a great breakdown on the stock market because they are closing lower. If you guys noticed this today, if you just look on the right-hand side here, we can see that, of course, the SPX, the NASDAQ, the DJI, they're all down just a little bit today, and this is because of the anticipation of the earnings reports coming out worse than expected. Now, I do want to point out, this to me does look like we have a bit of a bull flag forming already on the Bitcoin 4-hour time frame. Let me go ahead and click on Ethereum here. Ethereum also kind of similar as well, but we're on the MACD. We are getting that 4 over to retrace here on the MACD. The RSI has plenty of room to fall, and the daily obviously starting to pivot back just a little bit. So it's seriously, chat, waiting on the Nvidia earnings reports. The numbers come out in 20 minutes. So what should we expect? U.S. stocks slipped from record highs on Wednesday as investors waited for AI bellwether Nvidia's pivotal earnings and digested minutes from the Federal Reserve's May meeting that revealed some officials were willing to hike rates if necessary. The S&P slid a little bit today, the NASDAQ also, and stocks have managed to grind out their new all-time highs this week as markets meandered in the wait to find out whether Nvidia will deliver on sky-high earning expectations. Investors are bracing for a big move in the chip maker's share price and in other potential AI plays after the first quarter results set for the release after the bell. It all adds up to a big test for the broader market as a whole. This moment, guys, is why we're at a 50% position. I put out a video a few hours ago saying, hey, get ready to strap on and take on some profits. And that sounded sus. Pause there for a moment. But strap in, guys, because taking profits, it's something you have to watch out for. If we're looking at our markets right now, ETH does have an imbalance at $3,600. $3,600. That's bearish. On high block, we have a massive delta spread to the upside at $13.6 billion, $13.7 billion, which is more than Bitcoin has in longs on the market right now, which, guys, if you know this, you want to sell when you're in the green. You want to buy when you're in the red. It is that simple. And when we traditionally see Ethereum at a high $7 to $10 billion delta spread, we get a massive correction. So we are in a position where market makers are going to be looking to drive out some of this liquidity. And it's honestly straight up only because markets have no idea what's going to happen with these Nvidia earnings reports. I personally am bullish. I believe that we're going to see a massive upside in Ethereum's price action here in the coming months, especially with the approval of an ETF. But again, we have to look at, I don't know why this is not popping up here. We'll pull it up in just a second. Let it reload just for a minute. We have to pull up Ethereum on the price charts. Guys, this is unhealthy. This daily candlestick is like the largest candlestick we've seen ever. And while it doesn't have to come down, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar to Bitcoin. What happened with Bitcoin in the last ETF? Well, if we zoom out, the last ETF was right here, right? It was on January 10th. So on January 10th, for Bitcoin's price, after the spot ETF was released, and yes, maybe this time will be different. I'll explain why in just a second. We got some massive downside. We saw over 20%. Now, the reason why people might not believe we're going to get that same pullback is after the ETF is approved, it doesn't mean the ETF gets issued on the exchanges immediately. It could go through a 2 to 6 week approval period to make sure that it has actually implemented, where Bitcoin was established the very next day. And that's where that buy the rumor came from. Now, there's something else I'm going to be sharing with you guys at the end of this episode that is super important and making me more bullish than ever on a certain project. I've talked about it in the past, but seriously, this could open up the floodgates to Ethereum adoption with tokenization. So smash that like button and stick around because seriously, we are about to watch crypto or stocks rip here in the next 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and go over to the next article today. Before I get back to liquidation charts, I do want to cover a few major bullish announcements. We have, of course, MetaMask chat adding Bitcoin support. So while markets are anticipating that next leg up, Bitcoin is preparing for what I believe could be a DeFi summer initiating or taking place on top of Bitcoin's network. And that's because popular self-custodial wallet MetaMask, which is primarily an Ethereum wallet, has expanded beyond Ethereum with snaps and plans to add Bitcoin support within the next months. I specifically believe this is going to be issued towards runes, and there's going to be a lot more adoption. MetaMask is the #1 hot wallet. With the integration now for, of course, Bitcoin on top of that, chat, runes and DeFi could really start to kickstart. Just imagine OrdiSwap in our favorite dexes now with MetaMask integration. Hell yeah, dude. So that is incredibly bullish. Super stoked to see that play out. Here's the SMI here for everybody that is worried about the markets right now. And I have to get something across the table, chat. I'm all about risk management. That is what I'm about here. We called the bottom at 56K. We called the bottom at $15,600. We bought the entire way up. And you're going to get a lot of hate out there. I get tons of hate all the time because when markets blow up by 30%, I tell people to take profits. And what does take profits mean? Well, taking profits doesn't mean selling your whole position. It means simply if you had $100 and it went up to $200, you made $100 in profit. Secure that bag, secure those profits. Why not take out the initial, right? That's very healthy risk management. So today, looking at these markets, while we have a very bullish indicator right here from the SMI telling us that Bitcoin is about halfway through this cycle, but which would probably put Bitcoin at around $130,000, $140,000 market or price point in 11 to 12 months, we are following the healthy historical metrics of being halfway through this bull run. So if that's the case, all I'm saying is, chat, let's all be honest with each other right now. Put 1 in chat if you're an emotional trader and be honest. It's okay. I'm going to put 1. I am an emotional trader. It is impossible. We are human. You're going to make emotional decisions. Don't tell me you weren't sweating at $57,000, $58,000. When I bought 15.5 ETH, I looked to Leo, which was one of my business partners. I looked to him and I was like, dude, man, I'm putting a lot of money down, but I am really confident in this trade. I was still emotional into the decision at the time, right? It is scary being able to enter these markets. It's why 90% of retail always loses. Retail is emotional. It's okay to feel that way. That's why we need to teach how to risk manage. That's why we need to teach how to act like a VC. I see the ones coming in. Let's go. Smash that like, y'all, guys. We're only human in this chat. And so when you see Bitcoin go from $56,000 to $72,000, and we get a delta spread like this, it's okay to say, you know what? I just made 30% on this position, and I'm going to dollar cost average some of my profits off the table, just in case, right? Because right now, as we approach the Nvidia's earnings reports, and I don't know why our heat map's not registering. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. Right now, check this out, right? Ooh, it's updating just a little bit. That is bullish. No, it's actually, we're not on Ethereum. We're not on Ethereum. For Bitcoin, it's still a little bit more bullish than bearish. But Ethereum, right? Let's say you bought Ethereum. Ethereum is stuck in a 50-50% position. On the 7-day, it is more bearish than it is bullish. There's way more liquidity below on Ethereum right now. Way more liquidity. On the 12-hour, which is going to be showing us in real time, it is 50-50. Ethereum really has no idea where to go right now. So if you're retail that was sidelined, you guys didn't buy at the beginning of this, at the bottom of this market, it's completely okay to just go, you know what? I'm going to create a strategy now. I'm going to create a watch list. And look, I'm not saying now is not a bad time to dollar cost average whatsoever. I'm just saying this is not the moment I would personally be going like all in on the market, right? At $56,000, $58,000 Bitcoin, Ethereum, I was telling you guys, there's a 75 to 90% chance at certain points that we are going to bounce from that range. We did. Now at this range, it's 50-50. I'm not scared to say that. Now, long term, right, that's short term. I'm talking in the days and whatnot, in the next coming weeks. In the long term, what's the difference between 68K Bitcoin and 63K Bitcoin, right? The problem is there's not a difference between 68 and 63K Bitcoin, really. The problem is retailers are emotional, and no matter what, they end up panic selling or FOMOing into the tops of the markets. So just take that into account, guys. It looks to be halfway through this bull run. And what I'm talking about in taking profits and getting that off the table is simply just, everybody's at a different position. Maybe you got to pay your college, your 3 kids' college tuitions. Maybe you have $200,000 in student debt yourselves. Maybe you're paying off 2 different cars. It's okay to take healthy profits. And, we're very potentially halfway through this market right now. James Seifert we have a bunch more of 19B Ethereum ETF filings today. Here's both the mini trust and the ETH ETF filings from Grayscale and BlackRock's filing. This incredibly bullish, big news for at least the Ethereum ETFs. It does look like we're going to see that approval. That is incredibly bullish, guys. I better see us hit 200 likes this stream right now. Like that stream, guys. What are you doing? We are in the midst of a bull run. And for whatever reason, the world doesn't want to wake up to that fact. They don't want to admit it because they were sidelined the entire bear market. And just get some W's. Let's get some W's in the chat for the community here. Discover Crypto, guys. We haven't let off the gas. We have not taken a break. We have told you guys day in and day out this entire bear market. And all of you in the chat, Fancy, Boss, Fibonacci, Michael, George, Senza, Astro, Matt, Sabas. I see so many new faces. Lodi, Dodi, Dodi. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Crypto Bad Fox. Guys, you are the ones that have been here learning, researching, dollar cost averaging, and changing your lives forever. I'm about to show you what Congress is doing. It's going to blow your guys' mind. But now we're about to watch an Ethereum ETF take place. So W's in the chat for all of our community. You guys are amazing. Smash that like button. But check this out. Trump's 2024 election odds hit an all-time high the day after he starts accepting crypto. Joe Biden is losing, and I'm not going to go political on this side. I don't care if you're left or blue. I'm all about the economy. I want everybody in this chat to make money. I don't care who you are, what you are, where you are. We are here to make money. And right now, unfortunately, if you're a Democrat, your party hates crypto. You have Elizabeth Warren. She had an entire anti-crypto policy. She literally campaigned off anti-crypto. She made an anti-crypto army. You can't dispute the facts, right? Right now, the Republican Party has gone all in on crypto. And we're seeing Congressman Emmer, we're seeing McHenry, all say things such as this. We have 6 minutes until the earnings report, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. We're going to listen to this together because, man, this really just gets me excited, guys. This is going to be a grand old time in this bull market.
Digital assets, cryptocurrency, and innovation. Tom Emmer.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we have an opportunity to determine whether the next iteration of the Internet will be designed by Americans or if it will instead reflect the values of some other nation. The FIT21 Act gives us that opportunity and unlocks a larger conversation beyond innovation. This bill is about national security. It's about consumer protection. It's about global competitiveness. It's about shaping what the future global digital economy looks like and how it functions. Currently, all online transactions are intermediated. But as we move deeper into the digital age, digital assets are key to decentralizing the Internet so Americans can transact directly with each other. Now, no intermediary needed. Without crypto, we don't have this ability. And I think giving Americans the choice to do business through an intermediary or directly with each other is important.
It's their right, by the way. It's our right to be able to do that.
Having that choice will fundamentally alter the digital economy, unlocking new opportunities for Americans and individuals across the world in ways we haven't even begun to contemplate. However, this Congress can no longer stand by as regulators squander this opportunity right within our grasp. This administration has demonstrated they simply are not willing to allow the digital asset industry to innovate in the United States. For every legal inconsistency or regulatory hurdle they produce, instead of coherent and informed guidance, they drive American digital asset users into less safe jurisdictions.
Tom, I'll answer that for
That's
you in a
why the
second.
FIT 21 Act is significant, to set clear and consistent rules for American innovators. Among the many important provisions in this bill is my Securities Clarity Act, bipartisan language tailored specifically to digital assets that provides the legal flexibility for a digital asset project to transition from centralization to decentralization. This transition is critical to the future peer-to-peer digital economy, and I thank the chairman and my friends on the other side of the aisle for working with me to incorporate this section into the bill today. Their work on this extensive framework will allow Americans to once again lead the
It's beautiful language, guys. They're separating finally CeFi and DeFi. It's a huge step. It's a bipartisan bill. Both parties are realizing that they can't campaign against it. This is incredible for the future of DeFi and intermediary finance with cross-border remittance systems and whatever you're using your crypto for. So let me go ahead and show you, because Tom Flynn's in the chat. Shout out to you, brother. Asked a great question. When was the last Nvidia reporting? When did those AI tokens pump? We're 3 minutes away from this. So let's go ahead and just check this out, right? The perfect example is going to be, let's go ahead and just type in Render. Render is going to be the obvious competitor with this, or the leading sector. You can also use Near if you'd like. Let's go ahead and type in Nvidia earnings, and get the history. So right here, right, we have January 2024. This is going to be reported on the 21st of February, and we have October. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do the last few. So July 21st, it was reported August 23rd. So August 23rd, November 21st, and February 21st. So if we were to put that out, we just get our little tools out here, right? And we go to February 21st. February 21st. Wow, way down here. February 21st. Okay, there's February 21st. Obviously, dumped a little bit afterwards, but I mean, overall, let's go from, I got to zoom in on it to be fair with you. So from the bottom of that day to the top on the GTC Summit, which was the top of the market, we called here 119% gain. The time before that was November 21st. Let's go ahead and pull out our tool here. November 21st. Let me zoom in so I can see it. February, December, November. There you go. There you go. Boom. So from November 21st, sparked another round. That's 2023. We're looking at, again, another huge, to the next earnings report, it went up to roughly, I can't even see the exact number there, but again, another 130% gain. I mean, it's very clear that this sparked the initial rally completely. I'm going to guess the other one was right here too. Check this out, right? Let's go one back further. August 23rd. August 23rd is probably the bottom of most AI tokens. Boom, right there. So there's your August 23rd. That was the earnings reports for Nvidia. And this is why markets are expecting that. So pretty bullish. Would you buy more Render right now, though, or would you do a smaller cap like AIOZ? Great question. So chat here, I love Republicans. Matt agreed. Awesome to witness. Seamless protocol. Seamless looks pretty interesting, by the way, George. Shout out to you for you showing me that the other day. I think that was you. Maybe it wasn't, but checking it out here. Where are we at? We're 20 minutes away from this. We'll probably see this happen live. But if I were to pick up some AI coins, it's really just diversifying. So like one of the ones, it's a really big competitor to Render, I'm going to say. Maybe not AKT because I just don't know enough about it. AIOZ has great DPIN branding. And I would probably put like AIOZ or like Octa's one that we've been mining here for a long time. It's a much smaller market cap. Yes, it's like towards its all-time highs, but great tokenomics and is a competitor to Render. That's going to be a smaller one. If you're looking for a little bit more gains, a little bit higher risk, it's going to be higher risk. AIOZ is definitely a lot bigger. I'd put that in the medium risk category. I think another great DPIN project's Arweave here, up 3% right now in the last day. It's another great project. I haven't been in this for a while though. We're completely out of that project now. We took all of our profits. And then of course the other ones, brother, is going to be AGIX, Fetch, and Ocean are converging into ASI. And I would love to check. That's a project I want to pick up heavily. I got AIOZ and Render, had a cost swap for AIOZ because smaller cap. Exactly, right? So if you wanted more risk, that's up to you. But it's really, I would be picking a few different ones just to diversify down into that. Now let's go ahead and check this out, guys. NVIDIA's earnings reports should be out here any minute now. Scheduled for May 24th. Expected. Still not out. Where is it? Is it coming out at 5 or 4:30? It should be. I thought it was 4. I thought it was out. Let me get some real time here. Nvidia earnings. Nvidia beats. Why am I not getting the news? Let's go to this. Stock market, 3 hours, 50 minutes. It's out, it beat. It beat, baby. Okay, I'll pull it up. I'll refresh in 2 seconds. All right, so let's go to the 15-minute here. Let's go to the 15. Yep, there's your 15-minute. There's your 15-minute here. So here's render. Render's literally spiking here. Render is now up. It's up 5% in the last 15 minutes. So that's gonna go ahead and keep taking it. Look at the chart. Oh my God, render is going to just explode here, chat. Let's also look at Bitcoin. So this is bullish. This is really bullish. This is bullish for the entire market. Man, what a beautiful moment, guys. Honestly, I want to see the actual earnings, though. I need to get the actual... It's usually really good on Google. It's usually like some of the information hasn't been published yet. Some of the information hasn't been published yet. Guys, what chat should I look at? Because I can look at render. You tell me to look at Nvidia? Because we can look at aftermarkets. Oof, 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 oof. Man, there's some volatility in this market right now, chat. Yeah, that's me. I'm there. Why would a ETF... approval due to gas? What would a ETF approval due to gas fee? Great question, put Sat. So check this out. While that market reacts, guys, I need the full information out though, and we have the earnings call, guys. Don't go anywhere until we listen to the earnings call. That's what matters most. So it's just like the FOMC meeting. Earnings are released, markets get all crazy, and then we have the earnings call. So we'll be listening to the earnings call here in just a little bit too. But what I wanted to show you guys is the tokenization platform here. So if they get that approval, brother, I think tokenized treasuries on top of Ethereum here. You can see it right here. It's $940 million. I think it's going to rip. That's why I love Ondo. Ondo's a huge project here, right? Ondo's huge. I don't necessarily know, but it could, in fact, cause Ethereum to become deflationary. So there's that aspect. If there is gas fees spiking to obscene levels, that Ethereum could be put into a position of deflationary tokenomics and cause a slight supply shock. But of course, it wouldn't be bad as Bitcoin, but it's a theory people are playing out right now. Type Nvidia on Twitter. Honestly, I should, but I do this every month, and Google's usually on it. So what's up with Google? Google trash, guys. Can we get some L Googles in the chat? L to Google, man. Man, they just let me off like that. All right, NVIDIA. Nvidia just reported earnings expectations of 6.12, beating expectations. Oh no, EPS of 6.2, beating expectations of 5.58. So they crushed expectations once again. Revenue of 26 billion, beating expectations of 24.56 billion. Nvidia also just announced no way, dude, no freaking way. And they announced the stock split. Here you go.
That we have reinvented computing for the first time since the IBM System 360, 60 years ago. There's $1 trillion worth of data center infrastructure installed in the world based on that old method of doing computation. Now we have accelerated computing, and we have the killer app for accelerated computing called generative AI.
Yep, they're just gonna keep killing expectations. They're gonna keep crushing it. There's your breaking news, baby. I'm gonna retweet this one because that one's just a fire post. Actually, let's go to CBNBC over here. Let's get the real one, reinvent it. Oh, no, it's good. Let's repost this one. The guy deserves a repost. Deserves a repost. Well deserved. It's official Nvidia earnings. Let me see if I can find anything else. To put this in perspective, this reflects 241% year-to-year growth, over year growth revenue for the third largest company in the world. Just 5 years ago, Nvidia reported their earnings of only $2.2 billion, making it a 1,000% increase in just 5 years, guys. AI and crypto is the future. If you're not getting on board, you're going to be left behind. Stop acting like it's magic internet money. You are going to get up. You seriously sound like you're like, I'm sorry. This might be you, might be your friends and family. Maybe we're on a TV here. I hope I'm in a TV in the living room. I really hope so. Guys, friends, families, listen to the person in the room that's saying, hey, crypto and AI, this is a real thing. You cannot dispute the facts anymore. We do not have to prove that Bitcoin is real to you anymore. It is real. It is working. It's a solution to fractional banking. It is saving the world. It can negate carbon emissions. Yes, all the myths around climate change. Bitcoin can change. Ethereum is being used for tokenization. 365, 24/7. Tokenization of liquidity in monetary cross-border remittance systems for U.S. treasuries, sovereign wealth funds, everything you could think of are going to be tokenized to all the way to real estate. It is bullish here. Render doesn't know what to do. It got a giant 5% candle spike here. It's bouncing back and forth. Let's go ahead and head over to Ethereum. Bitcoin, 26,000. It jumped up to almost 70K off the announcement. Again, we're getting that volatility. There's your Ethereum spike. We got a big bounce to, of course, the 7.3. We're about to close here at 4.30. I want to see what it is. But again, the real announcement here tomorrow, guys, is going to be the Ethereum spot ETF approval. Right now, we do have this position below us at the 3,600 range. You can see it right above me right here. That imbalance here, guys, can get a flash wick down, get filled, and then turn into support before moving higher. That's how that traditionally works. And even when you get this B formation in that volume pattern, right, like this, you make a big little butt right there. That price does like to at least wick to this range and actually create that support above that 5.32 EI. Does it have to happen? No, not whatsoever. But again, let's go ahead and go over to the 12 hours. I'd like to give you guys real-time analysis on this. Still not anything on the Ethereum side. Let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin liquidation maps on the daily and see if it has adjusted just a bit. So we're still 50-50, which tells me this. One, the earnings call in 20 minutes is going to be incredibly important. Two, it's going to be the fact that markets are really anticipating the approval, which I believe has to be done by Friday this week for Ethereum. And if that does get approved, that will be the next massive catalyst for these markets. So someone in chat just said it. Said sell off tomorrow, eat the 3,400. I would have to agree with you. I don't know if you just watched my video I put up or anything, but I think we do need to see this delta spread wiped out. I don't like the fact that I'm seeing this raise right here. You could see that we got a little bit of a bump off this little minute here. A few $100 million, it was like $30 million came into more longs. But again, I want to see that wiped out before we move higher. I am more bullish. I do believe we're going to come up to above 4K very, very soon. I also believe we are going to approach $75,000 Bitcoin, but the markets are telling us that we do need to fill some of these gaps. So 3,400, yeah, it could be possible, brother. It could be possible. I think somewhere in this range. And tell you what, let's go ahead and zoom in on this. Let's find an exact entry point, right? If I go to the 4-hour here, go down to the 50-minute time frame, go down to the 10. Let's see if I can find any imbalances here. Wow, nothing? Nothing on the 4-hour? That's crazy. Let me go to the 1-hour then. We're going to have to go lower and lower and lower. 1 hour, zoom out. Still no imbalances, brother. Still no imbalances. So really what I'd be looking at here, hourly, you got some support at 3,500. You got some buy orders. So this range could see a wick to it. Doesn't have to. But we are looking at like a 50-50 here. And if I went over back to the TA, let's go back to our trading view, right? Let's go to the trading view analysis. That is still incredibly bullish that we just beat expectations. 15-minute chart is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. But we go to the hourly. Hourly's bullish. Hourly's bullish. 4-hour is bearish. 4-hour is a little bearish here. But again, it could just bounce off and create a double MACD. Not a problem at all. And then daily, though, could come down quite a bit. Man, that daily had a nice little spike there. It's kind of a wild candlestick on that. Can we take a look at Fetch AI? Let's go ahead and look at Fetch. I could actually probably pull that up on the liquidation charts too for you, brother. But Fetch daily, well, this actually looking like a bit of a, we could go, I don't even know how you draw this out. I'm not going to pattern trade. I'm not a pattern trader. Let's go ahead and pull up the liquidations. I want to see the liquidations on this. Fetch is moving high right now. It's pumping off the news. It's pumping off the news. So actually, Fetch is up from, if I go to the 15-minute, I just want to check the 15-minute because that's where we could see the exact news. It actually just dropped on the 50. So there's the wick up, and now it's plummeting down here. So it could be a sell the news event here. But let me go to the liquidations for you. This is what liquidations are what matter most to me. I trade only off really liquidations because it gives us just a really good perspective on market makers. Market makers are the ones that generally win. Let me take off this headset. I just realized it was on and I'm sweating from it. So let's go to Fetch, F-E-T. Oh yeah, it is on here. That's sick, man. I've never looked at Fetch on here. So Fetch right now, oh yeah. So this, look at this, chat. This is real time. This is what it looks like when people FOMO. So we just had a ton of positions open up because of that announcement. Generally, you do get a sell-off. I'm not going to lie. People get too overly bullish, and then they get wiped out of their positions. So what you would want to see on here is people opening up these light candles here. So for you guys that don't know, this is the windshield wiper right here. This is your windshield wiper. Above you, you have your bears, right? You have your bears, and you have your bulls, right? So when you see this wipe out, like if that line were to come up to this range, that means all of these bears would be liquidated and wiped out. If bulls came down here, all of these bulls would be liquidated and wiped out. Now, I got to be careful on what I'm drawing right there. It kind of looks a little sus. But we have seen a bit of a pump here. And when you have these massive delta spreads, you don't want to buy in the green. You want to buy down here, right? We want to buy in the red at the bottom and you want to sell in the green at the top. That's how that traditionally works. And so I like to trade off these liquidations. These are just in near term. It doesn't mean we're just going to go to zero, but it does mean you might get like a bit of a flash wick down, and you might see Binance come out and grab this liquidity right here and create a false bear trap. This is where bear traps and bull traps are created. You generally have too much liquidity to the upside, so do a flash wick price, make everybody extremely bullish, trigger a lot of buying pressure before dumping the prices and taking that liquidity. And same thing with bear traps at the bottom. You guys would most remember this right here. I could pull it up on a chart and show you. If we go to Bitcoin, right, and we zoom out, let's go to Bitcoin, go to the hourly. Actually, I got to probably go to the 4 hour here. So for Bitcoin, was right here on the 4 hour. So this right here was a bear trap. This was an insane bear trap. When we came down to 56,500, why? Well, every single trader, professional trader, right, was telling you that if we broke 60K, we were going to go down to $49,000. How many of you remember? Type 1 in chat if you remember at least one creator saying 52K or 49K. I'm going to show you the two exact points because I know exactly where they are, right? There were these 2 points. Every trader said if we broke 46 or 60K, we were going to come down to either 52K or 49K. What happened? We broke 60K, right? And we ended up creating this bear trap, right? Bears started shorting the market. They're like, we're going to go to zero. We're all going to zero. Stop selling your bags, right? And then ultimately, right? Ultimately, we created a massive bear trap that caused shorts to stack up. What does that look like? Well, I can show you right here. That is what this looks like. So when you can't see it here, but if I zoom out to the 30-day, this used to be flipped. This was the exact opposite just 2 days ago, right? Or not just 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So on this chart, you have the bears, right? You have the bears and you have the bulls. And you can see that there's way more, right? You have roughly $10 billion in bulls that would be liquidated if prices were to come to $59,000. You'd only have roughly $2 billion if Bitcoin were to go to $2 billion, which means market makers, guys, they're more inclined to bring the windshield wiper down and wipe out bulls before pushing prices higher and wiping out bears. This is how it works. It's a game of tug of war. You just have buyers and sellers. That is all that there is, right? Then you have market makers. Like, you think of it like a tug of war match, okay? You have bulls on one side, bears on the other, playing tug of war. The market makers, they're the rope. The only difference is that rope can actually change its weights on each side, which, like, it can help pull, which is so weird. I shouldn't be doing that motion with my mouth. You guys are probably clipping me and being like, that's some good stuff right there. But the market makers, they can turn on little AI algorithms, little trading bots. They have a million things they can do where they'll add liquidity to the market and push prices one way or the other to help solidify the liquidity in the market. And they arbitrage off that. They make a ton of money off of that. Simplistically, it's just buyers and sellers. And so when you're on the 30-day, it looks bad. But when you zoom in, okay, when we zoom in, what we're seeing in real time is it's a battle between the bulls and the bears. It's 50-50, right? It's 50-50. You have roughly 1.6 billion to the downside and roughly 1.6 billion to the upside. And this tells us one thing and one thing only, that markets want to create, they're consolidating. They're fighting to create support or they're fighting to create resistance. And that's why it's a 50-50 trade if you were entering the market today. It is 50-50 because at the end of the day, it's one party or the other. It's going to be the bulls or the bears that wins. And it's just a 50-50 perspective on that announcement. So it could be maybe the ETF announcement. That's what breaks it. So if it comes out bearish, we drop. Or if it comes out bullish, we gain. Over 2 weeks ago, it was very clear. Because over 2 weeks ago, guys, it was simply just, there was only bulls. Like, bears were way over leveraged. It was like so freaking clear. That's why about $50,000 worth of ETH at like $3,100. We're up like literally, I don't even know how much money that is, like 15K or whatever today. We're up a lot of money on that as well as on it. We bought the bottom of that because of that reasoning. So just keep that in mind when you guys are watching these markets, guys. Don't fall for the giant wicks. These giant wicks are what wipe people out. This giant wick on Ethereum, this probably caused FOMO, but it would not at all alarm me if we came down, consolidated before moving up, right? It wouldn't at all alarm me if that were to actually take place or happen, or even come back down and retest its breakout zone, right? So what's the retest zone? The retest zone, I don't see that happening. I don't see that actually happening, but it could happen. I would more than likely see just a reverse head and shoulders pattern. Make shoulder, and move higher, maybe, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. And again, on the 4 hour, we are looking a little bit bearish. And right now, honestly, I think we can get a little bit of a pullback. So that's where you guys got to ask yourself, if you're up 30%, right, you bought at the bottom with us, and you're up this massive percentage, you take some profits, right? And it's okay. Maybe it pumps a little bit more. Re-enter when it finds some support again, because right now it's 50-50 between which position it's going to go, and I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill. So moving on, guys. We have a lot to actually cover as well on this today. There's even more information, believe it or not. Here, you had Tom Emmer we listened to. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. This just looks disgusting. This was funny. That's not a pizza at all. It's a British pizza, as Wendy-O likes to say. That was a pretty funny image. We have Justin Congressman says CBDCs threatened. This guy, Tom Emmer, is just going hard against CBDCs and Democrats. You've Senator Cynthia Loomis. There is a bipartisan majority in both chambers of Congress in favor of crypto. The future is very bright. Even more bullishness coming out of this as well. ETH 1 hour, BART pattern, Josh, a sell-off, then big pump, wipe out of longs and trades. That honestly sounds like it could be really, really, really good. It could be really, really, really good. The split will entice retail in over the next 2 years. Probably 100%. Go watch me, Kevin's. Man, Pancake, dude, do you blow other people harder or what, man? That's kind of sus, bro. You got that nut butter all over your lips. You got that Meet Kevin juice all over your lips, dude. You got to pull that out. That is nasty, man. It's kind of gross. Can we get some nasty pancakes in the chat? That is gross, man. L pancake. L pancakes, man. That is gross, dude. You're glazing. You're glazing up so hard. It's gross. After market pump, Nvidia earnings just dropped, and it was much better than estimated. Yes, 100%. Holy smokes. How about those Nvidia? Yeah, that was just crazy, guys. That was crazy. On top of this, boom, there it is. All the proof you need that isn't just a fluke. White House bailed on veto and issued a statement in which they call for productive frameworks to promote digital assets and payment innovation in America. This isn't just about an ETF or one vote. This is an entire change in messaging and strategy. I cannot begin to tell you how big of a deal this is, okay? How big of a deal this is. While Warren might continue to fight, the White House has just given other Democrats a pass to now support crypto and blockchain innovation, as backed off on blocking via authority. So, with this, a major victory in the shifting of alliances, guys. And with this, you have President Joe Biden trying to completely gaslight the American people. The man behind all of the suppression in crypto in the first place is coming out and being like, you know what, I'm actually not that bad about this. I'm not that bad about this, right? Like, I'm actually for crypto. Like, yeah, no, we're not gonna fall for that at all. Says he doesn't trade chart patterns and names like 6 different. Well, no. So what I'm Gennaro Mina, what I'm gonna say is like I'm just not that guy that's gonna sit here and say like I'm like a full-time day trader. But I've literally done $110,000 challenges with liquidation charts. I use high block signals and TradingView, so I can trade. I'm just not like that guy that's here professionally trading 24/7 because I can't stare at charts. And I just, so do I have some knowledge from the charts? Yes. Can I look at a chart and understand what's happening? Yes. But also, like, I'm not the greatest day trader. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what I do full-time whatsoever. And honestly, you could pretty much beat any day trader if you literally just use a tool like the Fear and Greed Index. And like, hey, I'm going to shill my bags right here, guys. FOMO is my project here. But ultimately, guys, like, seriously, if you just simply buy whenever the Fear and Greed Index on the 24 hours in the red and you sell when it's in the dark green, you like historically would be up better than probably any trader on the market. It's really that simple. Like, any creator or any professional trader that tries to overcomplicate it is like, you need to buy my $300 course. Like, just shove your middle finger up their nether realm, because seriously, they're overcomplicated. They purposely overcomplicate it to make it seem hard so you buy their bags. That's really how I look at trading. Like, trading works though, right? I'm not bagging on professional traders. Like, you could be a really good professional trader. It's just like, at the end of the day, let's all be real here with each other. With this, we have ETH ETFs are very like to be approved. What's the reason for the sudden reversal? It's political. And this is coming from James Seifert. Listen to this. This is huge. This is a big moment. Big moment.
Come in on Monday morning, and by late morning, well, really early afternoon, we started getting rumblings that something was happening with the SEC and these ETH ETFs. You combine that with what you were saying, with Trump hosting a NFT dinner and telling everyone, if you like crypto or you want crypto to stay here in the US, to vote for him. I mean, that, and then you combine that with the fact that everyone I'm talking to seems like they were blindsided by this. No one was expecting this. That tells me this came from the top. This was a political decision. And I think you're right, Alex. I think this was a decision from above, possibly above the SEC's head, like Biden, by the Biden admin, that decided like it's not worth fighting this. We might even lose in court if we try to do this and somebody sues us.
Boom.
And we're losing the votes. People are going to go to Trump solely because of the stance here, and it's just not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. Couldn't agree more with James there. This is what we've been saying for a very long time here. This is all political. It's all one giant political game. This is a kleptocracy of corporations and governments and now politicians, guys. I'm going to be real with you guys. Politicians, they don't change because someone told them to, right? There's no hierarchy of, a bigger politician. Like, it wasn't Biden that was like, you guys need to change your policies on these votes. I mean, there was a collective understanding. It wasn't just one person. Why was it a collective understanding? Because all these politicians, they're all paid by the same lobbyists. And they all of a sudden started realizing that other parties were making more money from the lobbyists. And they're like, they're greedy. All they care about, all politicians care about is you greasing their pockets. They are slime grifters, guys. They are the biggest grifters of the industry. How do I know this? Because they're just bigger influencers. They're the top of the totem pole when it comes to influencers. And all they want is to be flashed some money. And politicians, guys, they're cheap. You can get them cheap. I'm talking donate them $1,000 and they're like, they're on their knees for you, dude. Like, I mean, there is some cheap politicians out there, and it's a nasty game. It's a gross game, and it's been like that ever since Richard Nixon pulled us off of the gold standard in 1971. It's always a political game. It will always be a political game, and it's why when you guys get mad about politics, I don't care. It's like, if you don't care about politics, that's great. That's amazing. I love you for that, right? But politics are always going to compare. They're always going to care about you. That is the say in there for you guys. So that is a huge moment here as well. Gary the Lizard is absolutely dying in the chat because we're just, totally roasting some dude for glazing up some massive hot dogs. It was kind of gross. But moving on here, we have Americans believe the power is shifting east. Many say China, Russia, and Iran are gaining influence, but most see U.S. as losing influence. I'm very curious where they got this poll from. What Americans, did they do this at Harvard? Did they do this in some low-income neighborhood? What is the actual research that is being given here? It says, survey of U.S. adults conducted on April 1st to 7th on 2024. That's really it. Growing partisans over NATO and Ukraine. So I'm very curious where they got these polls from. I'm always very skeptical of polls. I mean, because, seriously, the U.S. isn't going to lose influence. I don't see a world where that exists. China has their own issues. There's geopolitical tensions that most Americans can't even understand, let alone fathom, because there's so much more to this predatory capitalism that's been embedded into our cultures. You have, for example, you guys want to see something crazy? No, you've probably never seen this. You've probably never seen this. China, Ecuador. Let's see, copper mines. Let's see, maybe like this. In Ecuador, 2 Chinese companies' own products are that San Carlos, Panataza, and Mirador mines. Both mines are currently owned and managed by Corriente Resources, a subsidiary. You know what these do? China builds, Ecuador dam breaks. I'm pretty sure it's Ecuador. Was it Ecuador? Coco is a hypothetical dam. It was located in local difference. Then the dam was constructed by. Yep. Let me see. Pull this up. You guys got to read the Economic Hitman by John Perkins. It's not Ecuador. What country was? China? Pretty sure it was Ecuador. I got to pull it up. I'll pull up the exact name of it. Some Chinese name, and I can't remember the name at the top of my head. What capitalistic countries do, guys? They are loan sharks. When a natural disaster happens in another country, whether it's Ecuador or El Salvador or any South American or South African country, there's literally genocide happening in South Africa. No one wants to talk about it because they're focused on what's going on in the Middle East and Ukraine. But there's literally entire human slavery taking place in the middle in South Africa. Nobody wants to talk about that because these Americans and these college students are actually stupid and they are only just trying to find themselves an identity. Why am I saying this? Because these are the same people that are being taken by these polls. These are the people that are giving their perspectives on the U.S. when it comes to polls. But they don't realize that there's entire countries all through South Africa, all through the Southeast Asia, all through South America that are indebted to countries like China. And China's real estate. Have you ever seen this? LFGV vehicles? I know this one at the top of my head. LFG vehicles. LFGV, let's type in collapse. China. Local government financing vehicles. A growing risk for China's economy. I've done huge deep dives into this over the years, and it's kind of gone past this. This is what led to Evergrande and everything that developed. But they pretty much were having the entire Chinese economy, every single resident, buy 4 to 5 homes, and they ended up building ghost cities. Cities the size of not necessarily New York, but pretty massive that would never be moved into. And they were even buying properties in places like Singapore that were Chinese owned and are never going to be developed. They created this Ponzi scheme of a system that essentially just ultimately collapsed at the end of the day. This is what has led to all the real estate collapse. We don't need to go down this entire rabbit hole. You guys should know what Evergrande is at this point. If you don't, go research Evergrande and also the Chinese State Guarding Company and all the big real estate financial firms. Either way, these LFGs, guys, these type of loans have just embedded countries like China to be in a very bad position for 10, 20, 30, 40 years out. The U.S. has its issues. We have semiconductor issues, right? We have massive NATO issues right now. We have a new president coming in that wants to completely eliminate that, and that can cause so many things against Russia, India, etc. There's so many geopolitical concerns happening right now. When I see a poll like this, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to be done with this rant. You got to take it with a grain of salt, because more than likely they're taking a poll from an average American, which, no offense, has no understanding of geopolitical tensions or concerns that are going to be affected for 10, if not 20 or 30 years, and can even be changed based off immigration, demographics, agriculture. There's so many factors that can change these games. So be very, very cautious on that, and don't fall for the fear-mongering. This is concerning. 1 in 6 Americans from the poorest 10% of zip codes are in credit card debt delinquency, according to the Fed. The share of people in delinquency in these areas has increased from 11% in Q2 2021 to 17% in one quarter of 2024, the highest in 21 years. In just 10 years, this percentage has more than doubled. This is normal. Yes, guys, you can't print $9 trillion in 3 years and just act like Americans aren't going to feel that. Everybody's indebted massively. New U.S. economy to crash in hard landing recession, says Citigroup's chief economist. He wants 4 interest rate cuts this year. Generally, again, guys, when you see your large banks come out and say that there's going to be a massive recession, it just doesn't happen. They just fearmonger. They're probably already shorting stocks. They're already making their money. And, they just get in and get out. But I don't think there's going to be a crash anytime soon. I think we're not going to get a rate cut until maybe even Q1 of 2025. Traditionally, you get your rate cuts. If you guys haven't seen this, rate cuts to stock market, right? Rate cuts to stock market here. Let's go to this is a beautiful picture. I love this one. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. It doesn't have 2020 though. I could just show you right here. This is a perfect example because it does it in 2020. That's all you need to know, okay? It does it in 2020 as well. But essentially, okay, everyone, for whatever reason, it bugs the crap out of me. You'll see a creator talk about, oh, rate cuts are coming, that's bullish. Well, historically, every time the Feds cut rates, guys, that's the top of the market. They cut rates, boom, 51% crash on the stock market. They cut rates in 2008, boom, 58% crash in the stock market. 2020, remember COVID? Boom, like 50% crash in the stock market or whatever it was. So when they get ready to cut rates again, just expect some bearish price action because it's going to make borrowing money. They're going to collapse the way it takes to borrow money. And here it is. I found the chart here. Found the chart. Here you go. Boom. There you go. Look at this. 2023 Fed pivots, right? So 2019, this is 2019 to 2021 was 35%, 58%, 51%, 1981, 27%, 48%, and 36% right here. And every time the federal funds rates pivoted, you got a collapse in the market. So when this traditionally happens, you get a flow, right? You can you overlay this to commodities, gold, silver, copper, wheat, orange juice, etc. Those will actually trend higher. So when Feds start to cut interest rates, commodities start to rise. Now there is a bet that's taking place right now. Will Bitcoin end up being a commodity? That could definitely be the case, but it's too early to tell. So just take that into consideration when you guys are looking at those federal interest rate cuts. The Ethereum L2 ecosystem is exploding with 778,000 active addresses and 341% year-over-year increase. Arbitrum leads the pack. Arbitrum is seeing massive growth out there. ZK Sync also had some major announcements. Base is number 3. Incredibly bullish on Base. Let me know what you guys are bullish on in the chat. If you guys have Aerodrome, I love the liquidity being built on top of those products with AMMs. There's a lot of bullishness that is taking place out there right now. On top of this, you have now, yes, the block leaking some more info on ZK Sync. This is one of the largest anticipated airdrops. This will probably bring billions of dollars into the market. Hyperscaling Ethereum with ZK Tech. There is 1.4 million people watching this, and every single post they have does hundreds of thousands of views. So the community around this is huge. And I imagine we're going to see a disgusting amount of money be created. Multiple millionaires. You can see right here, 13 billion FDV is possibly as current. Wow. They're saying the FDV for this could be reached all the way towards $13 billion. That would be the biggest airdrop ever, dude. Wow, that's insane. That's insane. Shout out to ZK Sync holders, man. Shout out to ZK Sync. Already swap here. Registers are now open for Ord stakers interested in being the first to test version 3. Super bullish on, of course, Already swap right here. We have base. Let's go. 100% Arrow, Ondo, GFi, and dude, that's a solid 4 projects right there. Why is render dump? It's literally falling for a sell the news event probably. Let me go check out the chart right now. Ethereum's not doing anything, actually. It's actually up a little bit right now. Render is, yeah, just got a little bit of a sell-off right there. And probably fetch as well. It's because people just literally went too bullish. They went and max bid. We just covered that. They just max bid. They have to, like, there's too many bulls. There's too many bulls, and it's going to cause a bull squeeze to the downsides. They're going to squeeze those bulls balls. Josh, FFM on base is a euro. Yeah, so that's actually a product. It's a little small of a market cap, guys. So full disclosure, guys. Like, this is a high risk. It's a high risk. We first talked about it at 9 cents. It's down 50% right now since we first talked about it. It's high risk, right? I think we talked to actually, well, maybe it was like 3 cents. Maybe it was 7 cents. Somewhere in this range right here, we talked about it. Maybe it was even back here. Either way, it's an RWA play. I am diversifying into RWAs. What was the one last night? Someone talked about one. It was like VES. VES? Yeah, VES State. This one, guys. Look, I don't know anything about this project. $3 million market cap. I am going to be starting to throw my money into something like just like literally a couple $100 into some moon bags for these guys. Like, maybe not this one, but like start paying attention to those RWA projects, guys. I'm incredibly bullish on RWA. Like, it's the reality of it. They're tiny market cap. Tiny. Got to be very, very, very cautious on those. Very, very cautious on those. Past that, you have Orange Pill coming out with a major update for their false release. I don't hold Orange anymore, but they are being integrated to Google Chrome and all these amazing products. They have a lot of new things coming out. They have Runes coming to their platform. Runes is going to be huge. Here's your Fetch AI news. What is MetAlex powered by Fetch AI? MetAlex is a platform for decentralized trading of commodities utilizing blockchain technology for secure and transparent operations. Fetch had a massive update, and they have some great products that already exist. And shout out to Fetch because it is one of the top projects right now in terms of market sentiment. You have Optimism, you have Arbitrum, Solana, you have Aptos, you have Fetch. They are one of the biggest projects right now with the communities aspect of it. So, hey, shout out to the Fetch holders that are out there. 14 years ago today, this man spent 10,000 Bitcoin on 2 pizzas. I don't think that's the same guy. I don't think that's the same guy at all. Maybe it is, but he looks way different. I'm pretty sure that guy was not a redhead. So, but guys, that's what I have for you guys here today. You did talk about this. Okay, tiny market cap, 100%. Hey, Josh, have you ever looked into DOP, Data Ownership Protocol? I have not, guys, but I promise you I'll check that out here in tomorrow's show. We have the earnings call in at like roughly 6 minutes, but I just got news. It's going to be about an hour call potentially, so we're going to have to honestly just listen to it. I'm going to update you guys on Twitter. If you guys haven't checked out FOMO, make sure you guys go get your 30-day free trial. Version 2 is coming out next week. You want to get grandfathered in, right? Go get that 30-day free trial. It's a limited time option right now. I put it in the chat for you guys. Get access to your guys' Fear and Greed Index. Let me go ahead and reload this. It's been frozen for a while. And click on plans here for you guys. Get FOMO Premium. There's free options right here, but of course the 30-day, we're going to be integrating the first ever Ape score, which you haven't seen yet. The Ape score is going to be the first retail community-driven retail in real time Fear and Greed Index to ever exist. And it's going to be because of you guys that we can actually create this amazing tool and have a 24-hour real retail Fear and Greed Index tool we know cannot be manipulated by institutions. So go check that out. It is going to be insanely powerful. Super stoked for that, of course. And yeah, it's just a great tool, guys. It's a great time to have it. Great time to have it. RWAs here. U.S. Treasuries have popped off. So make sure you guys watch for Ondos. I don't even know why I had to pull that up one more time. Guys, smash that like button on the way out. I appreciate you guys for being here. All the love, all of the support. We hit like 800 live viewers at a 4 p.m. Call today, guys. Like, that is insane. So, guys, hit that like button on the way out. If you guys appreciate these live streams, just let us know in the comments that you guys want to see more of these. We're trying to bring you guys news 3 times a day. Morning streams Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, as well as one live stream from me and Deasley Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. and mine at 4 p.m. Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday for you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Talk to you soon.